Welcome to the Theater 13 podcast.
Hey, I'm Aaron.
I'm Jacob.
And I'm Doug.
And this is the introductions. Just wanted to say what's up and introduce ourselves a little bit and kind of set some guidelines and boundaries for what we want to do and kind of the reason why we're doing this. So just wanted to start with everybody's favorite movie and kind of get that out there and talk a little bit about that so you guys understand where we're coming from.
I'm going to say my favorite movie is Interstellar. I'm a fan of science fiction movies like Star Wars and Star Wars.
Did you see Star Wars in theaters when they first came out, like the prequels?
I was in the theater for Phantom Menace when I was 4, I believe. And I went to see Revenge of the Sith in the theater as well. Pretty sure I was in middle school at that time, if my math isn't wrong. Yeah, Interstellar, big fan of Christopher Nolan movies. Pretty much all of them. That's all I got.
What about you?
So I really don't have a favorite movie. I tend to go for more of the movies that are kind of the ones that like kind of really make you think. Not more of like the straightforward kind of, this is like a love story or this is a comedy, more of just like the kind of mind bender or thinkers like the Da Vinci Code or Angels and Demons or Tenet, which is a great Christopher Nolan movie. Things like that. Especially, I did like The Lighthouse, which is the first film that we did for this podcast. It was a great movie and a great,
will never be released
somehow.
Which will never come out.
And it's
Why don't want to
Jacob's
come
fault.
out? We can just.
That's the only thing that was wrong with it. It was pretty much Jacob fucking it up. So, moving on, Aaron, what's your favorite movie?
So I've been into anything scary for a long time, even before I should have been. I remember growing up, I was in love with Jurassic Park. I mean, I still am, but the dinosaurs terrified me. It was pretty much the only thing I would watch. And I had this VHS tape of the first movie, and I also had a VHS tape of the second movie, behind the scene footage. And I would watch basically how they made the dinosaurs. I was obsessed with it. I watched it constantly. So since then, I've just been moving through horror movies. I watched them way too young. I remember The Descent.
Nice.
And there's a funny video on YouTube, if you can find it. I'm not going to say the title of it, where after I watched Signs, I wouldn't sit close to windows because I thought the aliens would abduct me through the windows. So that's out there. Good luck. But it's a classic. It's a good one. But I've really gotten into the more mind horror and things like The Lighthouse that, kind of horror, kind of not. You know, things like A24 has been putting out. Ari Aster is my favorite director. I love Hereditary, but Midsommar is my favorite movie for sure. I love everything about it. I love the acting. I love how the setting's different. I love the drugs. I love everything in it. I really get down with it. But yeah, that's kind of my background. Do either of you have any backgrounds with movies that you remember as a kid?
Ooh.
No?
I used to be terrified of Dumbo.
What?
The animated elephant, dude?
What is it?
That shit was
turn into
scary.
donkeys?
That shit was scary, dude.
Don't they turn
Hell
kids into
no.
donkeys in that movie and they just never turn back and they just ship them off to the circus?
I don't even remember.
I'm pretty sure donkey
I just know
kids
it's
just get
scary.
turned and they're just gone forever. Their parents never see them again.
Yeah, that shit was fucked up. You know, as a kid, I liked, like Shrek and, I mean, it's still God tier.
We gotta do a Shrek episode.
Ooh, shine your shoes, wipe your face. But yeah, the first, I guess, movie that I ever liked was A New Hope. And I've always liked Star Wars since then. So yeah, that's from when I was younger.
First time I ever watched Star Wars, I remember I was laying on the floor. My dad would have to read the text to me because I couldn't read at the time I was watching it. So he would read the text to me and my brother.
Oh yeah, I definitely couldn't either.
And that was the coolest thing to me. I don't know why. I tried to understand what was going on. I had no clue what was happening in those movies, but I've been a fan for a while as well. Me and Jacob actually last year, we sat down and watched every single one back to back to back.
In order.
Over like a 2-week span.
Yeah, because up to that point, I had never seen any of them. So really the first thing I remember about movies growing up is there was a movie theater that was really close to where I used to live as a kid. And it was $2 for the movies. So we would go every weekend to see whatever new movie was out. And the first really like vivid memory of a movie was actually the third Harry Potter movie. Is whenever Lupin turns into the werewolf, and I was absolutely petrified. I was so scared. I was probably like 4 when that movie came out, I think.
The troll in the first movie had Kaylee and I shitting ourselves.
Dude, you know what? That troll is still kind of freaky. It's weird CGI, dude, and something about those weird CGI movies back in like that age. Something about him's freaky. I don't know what it is. It's like the zero gravity effect on Harry when he's getting thrown around. It really is. It's not human. It's not right.
After
I
watching
feel you with that.
After watching that movie, my sister literally at like 1 a.m. would knock on my door. Can I sleep in here? I'm fucking scared.
she said I'm fucking scared as a child.
Yeah, she was 3. She was like, I'm fucking terrified. Also, Voldemort at the end is pretty disturbing if you're
Oh yeah. Whenever he's in the back of Quill's head, for sure. But now it's like my fondness for movies has kind of changed to the point to where one of my favorite things to experience is like a movie on opening night. Because now we have these
to do that
film franchises that are just absolutely have gone beyond anything that people could imagine back in the 50s or 60s.
So yeah, that's kind of everybody's thing. Hopefully you guys will stick around. This is the first time I've ever recorded anything, so got us a break.
The second time?
First time did not go great.
We won't talk about the first.
Yeah,
from now on out,
Jacob and only Jacob fucked up the first time. So
really? Only me? Is that right, Mr. Popcorn?
Okay.
Let's think it's a good idea to eat popcorn during the filming of a podcast.
Okay. Anyway, first time recording a podcast did not go great, but hopefully this time goes better. Everybody can stick around. And we're actually going to be covering movies next week. Should come out every Monday, so look for that under Theater 13 Pod on Spotify or anywhere else you get your podcast. And we're going to be covering Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino. Pretty excited about that. I've never seen it. I don't know if you guys have, but
I have not either.
Excited to watch it. I know it's about.
So none of us have seen it.
Yeah, correct.
Perfect.
Jacob, why did you end up picking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
So I'm a big fan of Quentin Tarantino. I like most of his movies, Pulp Fiction, Hateful Eight, just things like that, like Kill Bill 1 and 2. Yes. And I just really enjoy watching his movies.
Inglourious Basterds.
You got another one, Doug?
Oh, those are my personal favorites there. So
Pulp Fiction is my favorite Tarantino for sure. I think it's an amazing movie. I love it.
And I just like the way that he directs movies.
Gorlami.
How basically like his real love for movies just shine through whenever he just does whatever he wants.
And also the feet.
The feet, yes, I love feet.
Anyway, I'm super excited. I'm a big fan of Tarantino, and I'm excited to research this and really get deep in the Manson murders and stuff like that. So look forward to that. I'll bring some of that to the table next week. But in the meantime, give us a follow on Twitter at Theater13Pod. I don't know if there's anything else to plug, so I think that's it. We're done. Everybody say bye. Bye.
Adios, muchachos.
Bye.
Theater 13 Pod is a Quantum 13 production.